we got more stuff on the developer roadmap. Oh, this is backwards. Ew. Uh, did I not? Why is this the way that? Oh, because I changed this earlier. There we go. Okay, fixed. Okay. Um, we got more updates for the second half of 2026 for Lotro. And we're going to talk about it for just a little bit because I do genuinely want to talk about this. I haven't really gotten a chance to look through a lot of stuff, just because life, as I talked about earlier, for those who were watching on stream, and then we'll dive into Third Age after that. But so they've talked about they're going to be revealing the next expansion. This will be on July 31st, so the end of next month will be when we will get the next expansion name reveal, which I'm really excited for, even though I'm not even close to getting to endgame. I'm still very excited to see kind of what the next expansion is going to look like. So that'll be really cool. But we'll get into that a little bit more. And then focusing on some summertime events, adding new encounters and rewards to legendary servers, and adding exciting changes to the Entenmoors, including the addition of the first monster player class in nearly 20 years. So this is really cool. So they made a couple QOL adjustments. They haven't really talked about what those are. I'm sure we'll get those more when update 49 actually drops. Oh my gosh, Task, thank you for the $20. Thank you so much. Supported nerd. You're awesome. So, Summer brings updated, highly regressive quality of life improvements designed to make your adventures smoother, clearer, and more rewarding. From expanding armor set availability across older content to improving visibility in some of the world's darkest corners. We're tackling a wide range of long-standing issues alongside dozens of fixes and refinements throughout the game. So it looks like they're working on making a ton of QOL adjustments from older content, which I think is really cool. I don't know what that's going to look like. I couldn't tell you. They have not given any insight to any of us, even as creators, which is fine. I'm not going to say that we need to know any of that information, but it's cool to see that they are taking some community feedback and are looking at continuing to improve on the game experience. So more of a reason to jump into the game, because they are working on actively making a lot of QOL changes. The delving system is getting some major reward updates just in time for summer, and with plenty of time to gear up for the expansion later this year. New rewards can be earned through barter or discovered within delving treasure. So they're going to be making some adventure seeking powerful, whether you're a seasoned delver or looking for a reason to jump in for the first time. This is going to be cool. I don't even know what delvings are. I think they're dungeons, but I've honestly never touched them. I'm assuming that's all endgame stuff. I don't know. We're gonna look into it quick, and yes, this is gonna go into the delvings. What place actually? She a mission giver. Any of the mission givers. Okay, so delvings are used at cap. So that's what matters. That basically is what matters. Great. That lets me know the important stuff. Which is that's really all that I wanted to know. They let players optionally ramp up the difficulty of certain missions and world instances for rewards on gear and gear on par. So delvings are just okay. Yeah. Great. Good to know. Delving is a difficulty increase. Good to know. Summertime events, a summer heat, so does the adventure. Omens return with refresh rewards, while Murder Mint refreshes your trade offers. So, Farmer's Fair is just around the corner, bringing a new selection of rewards. As summer gives way to autumn, the legendary item and monster play reward track will begin their seasons with new rewards. Season closes with the return of the treasure Bugan, followed by the Trail of Shipwrecked Mariners and everyone's favorite birthday celebration, Bilbo's birthday. And then, legendary server updates. Angmar and Mordor pushed into Mordor. All 9 Nazgul. So now legendary servers are getting even beefier. The arrival also expands servers' rep and rewards. Highest level of the barter system increases. So there's more rewards in the legendary servers, which is something I need to dive into more. I might make another character and try more on Angmar. I keep putting it off, but I don't know. We might just do that and kind of power level or something. And then PvMP is going crazy right now. I know I just kind of like talked a lot about some of these other, well, not really talked a lot, but I talked a little bit about the QOL updates and then learned a bunch of other things. Talked a little bit about legendary servers, how I need to jump more. But for those who are the player versus player people, okay? So for the first time in more than 18 years, monster player side of the battle welcomed the new class, the Angmarim Sorceress. Launching with Update 49, the Sorceress will be available through the Lotro store independently or with 3 starter bundles. These bundles will provide access to all our higher tier skills, traits, and up to 3 exclusive launch skins. So if you've never played Monster Play, this is the time to do it because they're going to have a brand new class for you to try out and play. There's going to be a unique new march, a whole new bunch of stuff to go along with it, whatever all of this stuff looks like for people who do Monster Play. And then there will be a much deeper look in a dedicated article before launch. And then the Delving of Frore reopens, which is a dungeon inside of the Ettenmoors. So there will be that will be available, which that'll be really cool with some new items, new quests, updated encounters, and a fully refreshed experience throughout the dungeon. So they basically took a dungeon that was in the PvMP area and they rehashed that, which is going to be really cool. I think that's going to be something that a lot of people are going to want to check out. I might even just take my hunter that I Valard and mess around with it. A lot of stuff that I need to look at with that character, so that's kind of cool. I really like that. I think that's a really cool thing to look at. Wait, what the heck? Oh, that's something different. Okay. And then Siege, I don't know what so a lot of changes to PvMP are coming. So I'm not a big PvP person. I've never touched PvP in Lotro, so I'm not going to go into a lot of details. But Siege is receiving several important updates. They're reworking the artifact capture system to create more dynamic battles across the Ettenmoors. When an artifact bearer is defeated, the artifact no longer disappears for 30 minutes and instead falls to the ground where it can be immediately recovered by either faction. If the artifact remains abandoned, it returns to the last location where it was controlled after 5 minutes. Siege is receiving several important updates. Players and monsters will gain access to 2 new ballista and 2 new battering rams to introduce more variety to the defense aspects of Siege. Capturing Lugazag and Tirith Ra will become more involved as well. So it genuinely looks like PvP is going to be something, if you have not dove into, you're going to want to pop into that one. PvP is looking pretty poppin'. I'm honestly looking pretty interested in what PvP would have to offer. definitely something I would look into. And then under Seas, the passage that provides direct access into Lugazag and Tirithra have become preferred method to enter the towers, bypassing siege gameplay. These ingress into the tower passages are being removed, so you can no longer use the Underseas relics. Rather than being used for the Horfall buff, relics can now be carried from the Underseas and delivered to Dar. Their capture functions much like the artifacts and create another strategic objective for both factions. Looking ahead to autumn, you may have noticed that one major topic is absent from this letter, our autumn expansion. So the omission is intentional. This year we will be unveiling details about the expansion at Gen Con. There we will reveal the expansion name, its setting, and the broad outline of the next chapter in The Lord of the Rings Online. Shortly following that announcement, we will share detailed articles revealing the major features of our next expansion. As development enters its final stretch, we are eager to show you more, not only about these new features, but also the heroes, foes, and adventurers that await in the next chapter of Middle-earth. Following Gen Con, expect a steady stream of reveals and deep dives as we pull back the curtain on everything coming this autumn. So there's a ton of new stuff coming. PvP, I think. So based on this, I genuinely think that the PvP might actually be a huge part of the next expansion. I could be wrong, but I genuinely think if you haven't been a big PvP, if you are a big PvP person, you might want to be excited for this, because there's a lot of changes coming to PvP, and you might be looking at jumping back into it. I personally might be jumping into it. I don't know yet, because I don't know if you need to be at cap to play PvP. I don't know a lot. I don't know anything about PvP. But I do think PvP might have some pretty interesting aspects to it coming up. I might even have to start leveling a champion for it, which just, there's so much going on. I don't know. There's a lot of... I need to finish leveling my Berg, but you don't need to be at cap. You get buffed if you're a Freep. Just got to be at level 20. Nice. So, yeah, definitely a lot of cool things to be coming up from Lotro. I think just updates 49 and 50 are going to be absolutely massive for the upcoming year. So, if you're not... what is this one? What is this scene? Sorry, my brain got distracted. Oh, wait, what? Okay, there we go. Yeah, so PvP, gonna be huge. And I think this update shows with the QLL changes, the new expansion coming. I mean, this is just more proof that there's just a lot of cool things coming to Lotro. And if you haven't been playing Lotro before, now is a great time to jump into it. I'm getting more excited to play, and so I think I'm probably, like, I wanted to take a little bit of a break after finishing up Shadows of Angmar, but we're definitely going to be jumping back into it here soon, and getting back pretty heavy. I want to try and actually make the push to cap. So task, that means we got to get through Moria. We got to start getting through Moria here soon. So be ready, you and me going through Moria whenever, you know. It'll be pain, but we'll get through it, I promise. But this video will end up on YouTube for this, so that'll be the end of this one. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Just going brief over what the rest of 2026 for Lotro is going to be. It looks incredible. I'm excited. But that'll be the end of this one. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. You are loved, you are valued, you are fearfully, wonderfully made. For those watching on YouTube, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.